Okay, the first thing I want to show you is what your score would translate like every single time this happens, but this can give you a rough estimate, okay? And I know this is hard to read, so I'll help you, okay? If you got all 60 correct, you got a 36. If you got 58 or 59 correct, you got a 35. 56 or 57 is a 34. 55 translates to a 33. 54 translates to a 32. 52 or 53 translates to a 31. 50 or 51 translates to a 30. 48 or 49 is a 29. 46 or 47 is a 28. 43 to 45 is a 27. 41 to 42 is a 26. 39 to 40 is a 25. 37 to 38 is a 24. 35 or 36 is a 23. 33 or 34 is a 22. 31 or 32 is a 21. 30 translates to a 20, and then so on down the line. Okay. So, based on what you have, just write at the top what that raw score would have been. Okay. Now remember, this does get averaged in with your other 3 test scores, so this isn't like what you would get on the ACT, but I'm concerned about the math portion and how to help you with that. Okay. Your math test is comprised of roughly 14 pre-algebra questions, 10 elementary algebra questions, 9 intermediate algebra, 9 coordinate geometry, 14 plane geometry, and 4 trigonometry questions. Now, those of you who are like, man, I was doing great until about this page. They put all of the pre-algebra and elementary algebra ones towards the beginning. And towards the end of your test is where you're getting the more difficult questions. Okay? You're also on more of a time crunch when you get to like those last 10 to 15 questions. Okay? So it's not a surprise to me that is where A, you're asking most of your questions for up here, and B, where you probably missed more of your questions. Okay? Notice how much geometry is on there. Okay? So as you prepare for the ACT, remember you took that Naviance test, okay, and it has like practice for you to do. And I think, are you doing that in your Titan Times? Those of you who have Titan Times? No, not really? Okay. So you took that Naviance test so it can give you like things to work on. Take advantage of that. That's free ACT test prep. Okay. But I would say a lot of us would probably need to review some geometry. Okay. And we'll try to do some geometry ACT questions as much as we can, but you know, we only have so much time. Okay. So I want to go through a few suggestions that I have as you're taking the ACT test, and maybe this is something we can talk about too, like right before we take it. Read the question before you solve. Oftentimes people see an equation and they just go for it, but they're not actually reading what they're solving for. Oftentimes ACT questions do require you to read through the words so you know exactly what you're looking for. Okay. Work backwards if necessary. It's okay to take numbers and plug them in. Okay. The ACT questions are pretty wordy, so translate the words into math as much as possible. Okay. Look for common shapes on geometric problems. Know your triangles, which right now you should really know your triangles, right? Because we're in the middle of our trig unit. But those special triangles are really going to help you. Okay. Know how to work your calculator. If you have any questions about your calculator, make sure you ask me. Don't show up to the ACT test and try to use a different kind of calculator it's really going to suck some time out of your test because you don't know how to work your calculator. Be conscientious of the time. If you have a normal watch that doesn't beep, wear it, okay? Or keep track of the time on the wall clock. But don't get so lost into the math that I'm telling you there's 5 minutes left and you had no idea, okay? Cross out ridiculous answers. As I was walking around, I did notice some people doing that, okay? That is a very good strategy. And don't ever feel like you have to go in order. Oftentimes you feel like you have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can start at the back if you wanted to, okay? But those of you who kind of felt like they maybe didn't get to finish all 60 questions, unless you're trying to get a 33, 34, 35, 36, it's okay to not get to the last 10 questions. All right? If you feel super confident on 50 of the questions, and let's say you get all 50 questions right, that's still a 30 on the ACT. But if you spend your time on 50 questions and you miss 10 of them, you're still getting, a 25 on your math. Okay, which is still a good score. So just keep those things in mind. Unless you're going for 33 to 36, it's okay to not answer some questions. Okay. In terms of what you need on your ACT, here are just a couple of things. At UNO, students are considered proficient in meeting their general education math requirement if they have a 23 or higher on their math ACT. If you can get a 23 on your math ACT, UNO says, hey, that's pretty good. All right. UNO, I think you have to take a math placement test, but it is possible for you to test out of math with your ACT score. Okay. Your ACT also can determine some scholarships. Help me out, people who are aware of this, but if you want a Regents at UNO, you need a 30 composite on your ACT. If you want a Regents at UNL, you need a 32 composite on your ACT. A Regents means full tuition. Okay. You don't have to be aiming for that. You aim for that 23 on your math ACT, you're going to go to UNO, you're in good shape for whatever math class you're going to take, or maybe not even have to take. Okay. Do you have any questions about anything that I've covered up here? How many of you have taken the ACT before? Okay, how many of you are going to take it before April 7th? Okay. So I think the biggest thing that students struggle with on the math portion is just the timing of it, which is why I wanted to give you the 60 minutes for the 60 questions so you could see how you were doing. If you got to all 60 questions, that is awesome. If you maybe got to 40 questions and I called 5 minutes, you may want to do some timed practice, not just practice, but some timed practice through that Naviance, okay? Could you see any patterns to the problems you were missing? Like, were you missing a lot of the geometry problems, or were you missing a lot of the trigonometry problems? Okay, maybe yours are random, and that's fine. But if you could see a pattern to what you were missing, use that and take that to find some practice problems to help supplement your knowledge. Okay. What I will do, here, let me go ahead and stop this. Maybe.